Ugh. Ugh. This little temple covered in blood. Ugh.
Hey guys, I'm back again for another Jurassic World Mattel Tour review. We're back at it with Jurassic World Chaos Theory and Epic Evolution at the same time. So we're taking a look at the Wild Roar Parasaurolophus. Again, another bioluminescent Parasaurolophus because the first one being the one in Can Cretaceous right there. And yeah, I had them all up here because now this is my fourth Parasaurolophus in terms of like the bigger size ones. I actually have like a total of 6 because I have 2 juveniles alongside now. But yeah, pretty nice to get another Parasaurolophus, and even more so, another bioluminescent Parasaurolophus. So this was definitely on my list right off from the beginning. Also, again, if you already know that I actually got this on sale for the $15 mark, got this because I didn't get the Hammond Collection Giganotosaurus, which was bought out by a scalper. But thankfully, they brought back more in stock, so I have to wait a few more days for it to start shipping in from the mail. So if anything, that's out the way. I'm gonna have to go ahead and take a look at this action figure while we wait for the absolute beauty that is the Hammond Collection Giganotosaurus. Let's go ahead and move all these out the way so we can get a closer look at that package. So again, we got the Jurassic World Chaos Theory aesthetic. We got the great looking logo right there with Darius, the blind-eyed Allosaurus down there on the side with the Chaos Theory logo, Epic Evolution logo, the same Desert Road aesthetic as the previous figures we took a look at, along with its action feature gimmicks, along with like lights and sounds, and of course the location spot right there, just like the other figures that I've already looked at beforehand. On the side, Jurassic World Chaos Theory logos and Epic Evolution looking pretty nice. And then in the back, you have the digital image of the action features and the dinosaur itself. And of course, the other figures you can get in the collection. I did see the Pachyrhinosaurus up there. It's pretty cool. And I didn't see the Ceratosaurus. That's also another one that's on my list of getting because I definitely like that Ceratosaurus. It definitely looks pretty cool. But the other dinos, well, definitely the Pachyrhinosaurus. I might get that if I decide to. But yeah, I might get that because I only have one Pachyrhinosaurus, and that's obviously the Sinoceratops from 2018. That was still a Pachyrhinosaurus. It wasn't actually a Sinoceratops. But yeah, definitely will be getting that one soon to take a look at. But let's go ahead and get this Parasaurolophus out the package. Okay, so now we got the Wild Roar Parasaurolophus out of the package. I gotta really say that the sculpting is definitely just another great looking sculpt, and also the proportions on this dino definitely look pretty cool too. I mean, if anything, it's not only just a great sculpt, but it's also a new sculpt, so that's another thing that we can also look forward to. The only thing I find a little missing on this figure is obviously neck articulation, because the other Parasaur figures that I actually have do have that neck articulation, but at the same time, it's not really the end of the world when it comes to that whole ordeal, because what matters really is just that it's another Parasaurolophus and it's another great one. And I really do like the sculpting of this. It's like the proportions look pretty nice overall. The posing it's in is pretty nice. That's all I gotta really say about that port. It doesn't have as much articulation as, like, you know, a typical Mattel figure, because it got like, I mean, the typical Parasaur's articulation definitely is kind of like this, because you got the same action features on. I mean, this is from 2019's Dino Rivals line, but again, it had the neck articulation, like the double joint right here. You got one right here and the other right there. And of course, it was added by an action feature. Then you got the other one from the previous line. I'm already making comparisons very early on, but this one, which still is my favorite because it has the action feature where you move the tail up or down, and it has like this animatronic like action feature, and you can also articulate the neck from up and down like here, or just at least the head like that. So again, that is all very nice. It's certain aspects that this Parasaur, while great in sculpt, it lacks some bit of posability. But again, doesn't really matter much when the sculpting is really, really good. It's like, again, that detailing definitely pops up more. I mean, as far as like I said, this one is just as good as the Hammond Collection version in terms of detailing. The other Parasaurs look pretty nice too, but their details are a tiny bit softer compared to this one. This one's a little bit more harder press. As far as I'm concerned, I really do like this Parasaurolophus in terms of sculpt. And also the best thing about this one, like the more important thing, is really just the action gimmick. So if I'm gonna go ahead and dim the lights real quick, as you all know, the action feature of this dino is this. Yep, has a full-on light up feature to make it more bioluminescent than the previous. Although I will also say the another missed opportunity is that it should at least been pink instead of red, because the colors of that Parasaurus usually show up in like various different colors that aren't technically like full on red. And also the sound effect choices are pretty nice too. There would be more sound effects in it, but I think there might have been 4. I mean, that's at least how much I would have counted, but not sure how many sound effects are there because, again, they're sporadic when it comes to the action features, or at least the sound effects. Let's take a closer look at that head sculpt. Again, the typical standard head sculpt that you can see for a Parasaurus definitely looks pretty accurate to how it should look. Doesn't look too derpy either, so it looks pretty nice in proportions. And detailing is also pretty cool too. And also this portion I can tell is a separate piece, which is why it's painted separately, connected into the entire figure's head. Of course, you got mouth articulation, which is also a plus. I guess that's the one thing they decided to add on here, because the other Parasaurs, except for the Hammond Collection one, has no articulated jaw, because now it actually does. The only mainline Parasaurolophus we have that has an articulated jaw, but no articulated neck. So I guess that's probably the reason why they compromised that neck joint. I mean, that's just my hypothetical reasoning. But again, the sculpting, the creases, the pebble definition, or like literally anything you can describe what dino details are on this figure is on this figure. And it looks very good. Paint job may be minuscule in terms of certain details, but that's to be expected when it comes to Mattel's like constantly improving the sculpts, but they had to downgrade on the paint schemes because, you know, in terms of the mainline stuff, they had to downgrade on paint schemes because cost-cutting measures. If the sculpts are getting better, but the paint jobs are getting worse, that's probably obviously why. But when it does come to the paint scheme, or what they at least attempt to do, they definitely did do a good job at least trying to replicate how it looks from the actual series that it's in. Got that nice airbrushing on the top to match the bioluminescent patterns of the Parasaurs in the series. But I will say that I still do kind of like this one more because they at least made it metallic to at least try to get the reflection of the bioluminescent aspect of the Parasaur. But at the same time, I applaud them for really attempting to make another bioluminescent version without trying to do that, because again, this does work a lot better too. Again, if this was pink, if the red was pink, it would have fit very nicely. But again, the sculpting in general of this figure, I could just keep going on how much I actually really like the way this is posed together. Of course, here's more detailing down here. And of course, there's nothing painted on down here. It's kind of like the previous Camp Cretaceous Parasaurs right here. Same situation where the toe claws and everything are not painted in. But again, doesn't really matter much if the sculpting is really good. Of course, the only way to make that look better is obviously by customizing and painting it up, and everybody's already done that to death. So if anything, it's like, aside from obvious like lacking features in the paint and the neck articulation and all that stuff, I say this is another win in the Parasaur department when it comes to Mattel figures in general. Trying to at least move some of this stuff out the way. Oh yeah, here's the scan code thing, but I'm not sure if anybody's even gonna bother with that. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's basically all I had to go over with this figure. It's like overall the sculpting is very nice. The action feature is very nice. I mean, I gotta go all day with that. That's just very nice. And of course, I already did this comparisons like full on early on because I really wanted to, but you can go ahead and do a side-by-side comparison entirely to see how they all fit. They all look really good together in general because, again, the color schemes, they do match up pretty well, as they all do. But the Parasaurs of the Hammond Collection obviously stands out more because it's tried to at least be a lot more movie accurate, and the colors are basically kind of muted while looking really good, but they're kind of muted compared to these. These are a lot more vibrant. So, and also this is a bit bigger anyway. I mean, it's standing up taller. I have it in a standing position, but if you do place it right alongside these, it's definitely a lot bigger in certain like ways. It's a little bit more of a bulkier figure. So if anything, these three match up pretty dang well. Well, considering that they're mainline versions of the figure anyway. Okay, to get a little bit of what I'm talking about, yeah, there are a lot of proportions on the Hammond Collection version that are a little bit bigger, like the bigger feet, the bigger head. I mean, certain aspects do look a little bigger. While I did say this was obviously the perfect Parasaurolophus, because it still is, definitely one of the better figures in the Hammond Collection lineup that I really still enjoy. I just kind of like this figure more because, again, I really like the proportions on this one. The head's not too big, the feet's not too big. Again, Mattel is getting a lot better with the proportions. And of course, this figure came out 2 years ago, so there's obviously a big difference between 2 years. And for one last comparison, I bring up the juvenile Parasaurs from the Owen story pack in Jurassic World Dominion, the Cowboy Owen, and the Roland Tembo vehicle version of the juvenile Parasaur, which came out first before this one did. So yeah, they look pretty nice together. If only we had a regular, I mean, we kind of do, it's this one, but it's not in the movie accurate paint scheme. So if anything, if we had another one, like another bioluminescent Parasaur in the same scale as this one, it would be kind of neat. Alrighty, so that's going to be it for this review of the Jurassic World Chaos Theory Wild Roar Parasaurolophus from the Epic Evolution lineup of figures. Alongside that, it's another great addition of dinosaurs to get in the collection. Of course, it's another great Parasaurolophus figure to add in the collection, aside from the obvious lacking features that I've already stated beforehand. So if anything, definitely another recommendation on my book. Also, again, just one more time, just really like that light up action feature. It's just so nice. Anyways, that is it for this review. Hope you guys enjoyed this. And yes, the Hammond Collection Giganotosaurus will be coming soon on my channel to take a look at, because god dang it, I'm so excited to take a look at that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll be seeing you guys later.